and the revolution will be televised. Welcome, Memphis. Welcome back to the Brian Clay Chronicles. It is so good to be back with you. We've been on a brief hiatus, but we are now with Tri-State Defender TV. So we want to say hello to our boss and our good friend, Mr. Burnell Smith II. Today we have a wonderful treat. We have 3 guests, but we're starting out with our beloved councilman, who's worked so hard in the Whitehaven community and for Memphis overall, brother Harold Collins. How you doing, Harold?
Good. I'm doing good.
You looking like $1 million?
Looking great. Thank you so much.
Before
You're very kind.
Thank you. Before we get into what we've got to talk about, what do you think our Grizzlies going to do this year?
We're going to win tonight for sure.
We're going to win for tonight for sure.
Opening night, you always got to win.
Right.
And then secondly, you know, the West is so packed.
It's packed. It's
the prognosticators think that we'll finish somewhere between 4 and 6.
Yeah.
And so,
what do you think? You're a former basketball
man,
guy.
I tell you, it is rough, but you never know because injuries occur.
Right.
In an 82-game season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we make the playoffs, we always got a good shot with Zach and Mark in the middle.
And Mark in the middle. Let me ask you a question because whether you all don't know, Councilman Collins is a basketball aficionado. Marc Gasol, this is his last year in his contract. We obviously know he's the best center in the NBA. Do you think he'll re-sign with Memphis?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think, number one, Mark is a quote-unquote almost native Memphis.
Yes, he is, with the Lausanne.
He went to Lausanne. His family lives here. He just got married.
Yes,
so when you plant roots like that in your city, that's significant. And then lastly, we can max him out.
Right.
And Mark knows how important he is to the Grizzlies and
to the community.
To the community, to the Grizzlies particulars. You know, they got to write the check.
They sure do.
So,
yeah.
But we understand, and I'm sure he understands what his role is. And I think what he wants to do is make sure that the Grizzlies continue to move forward toward getting a championship and acquiring those caliber players that could take us to the next level.
Excellent answer. I guess we need to talk some business.
Well, let's do a little bit of that.
Let's do a little bit of that. As many of you all know, Councilman Collins has been on the forefront on this pension issue. We have discussed this many times in the past. Councilman Collins has been a guest on the Brian Clay Chronicles in the past, and we certainly appreciate your support to this particular program. For lay people, people that may not understand the complexities before we go into the depth of the pension issue, can you explain what all of this is about? Is it about fire and police? Is it about all city employees? What is the pension issue for just a person that may not know? And I know that's kind of a loaded question.
Absolutely. Well, what we would like to think it's about is sustaining our city. But here's what we know. We know that initially it was told that the pension ARC payment was $100 million a year. After the council agreed to hire its own actuary, we realized that the pension payment ARC was not $100 million, but close to $73 million a year. So we actually saved the city of Memphis and the taxpayers $30 million right off the bat.
Okay.
Then it came down to whether or not current employees will be able to stay in the plan that we have now, which is a defined benefit plan whereby they get a pension.
Okay.
Or do current employees or those with 10 years or less who are not vested move into a defined compensation plan?
Right.
And so the argument was between those 2 issues.
Okay.
My argument was, let's wait until our actuary do all of his or their work, Siegel. And then once they do their work, they will come back and recommend to us what we are to do. Since we hired them, since we paid them, they are the professionals. They know what to do. Let's let them do their job.
Right.
It's sort of like going to your doctor, and the doctor diagnoses your illness, but then you say, no, that's not really what's wrong with me.
Now, to stop you, Siegel, for those that don't understand, Siegel is a private a private company.
Absolutely.
That works with the city council.
Right.
Now, the mayor's office actually hired Price Waterhouse, if I'm not mistaken.
They've been with the city for over 19 years.
Price Waterhouse.
Yes.
And Siegel is kind of the new kid on the block, right?
Absolutely. Well, Siegel's been around just as
Siegel's
long
been around. The company
as Price Waterhouse. They just have not been engaged to help us do what we needed to do. But they've worked with cities like Chattanooga. They worked with Atlanta. They worked with Charlotte, St. Petersburg. They worked with many major cities who have these kinds of concerns like we have.
Now, one of the things that has been on the forefront regarding the pension issue, obviously, has been the way police and fire have been treated. Michael Williams, who is the police department union president, and I think Thomas Malone, who's the fire president, who also have been guests on the Brian Clay Chronicles, have been very vocal about what the mayor wants to do regarding the pensions. Michael Williams has said that there is far more. There is not a financial dearth like the mayor says. Malone has kind of said the same thing, but they both make good points that police nor fire have long careers, and many times they decide to become police and firemen because of the pension.
Absolutely.
For other Memphians that don't know, city employees do not get a Social Security check. It is the pension that they receive at the end of the day. First, the question I guess I'm going to propose to you. We all know that there probably needs to be something done with the pension.
Right.
I don't think anybody argues with that. But is your position as a councilman, what is your opinion on how fire and police have been treated regarding the pension? And then secondly, what is your, I guess, all-around, opinion again on the Siegel presentation that says the new 401k style pension is not maybe the best solution?
Well, let me say,
and I know both of them are loaded questions.
It's okay. It's okay. This is where Harold Collins is. Number one, police and fire take jobs for careers. They don't take jobs to move up and build a resume to do another job like some other people do. So when you sign on as a policeman or a fireman at 24 out of college, that's where you want to be. And so they tend to look at the long range plan of their career, where they're going to be at 55, at 60 at retirement age. And so they make those decisions based on where they're going to be at that time and age about their families and everything. So I venture to say that because the changes have occurred, that's why you've seen so many policemen and fire leave for other cities who have benefits that may be bigger or larger than Memphis and can offer. Is that an attack on police and fire? I don't know. I can say to you that they think it is. Secondly, with regards to the pension and where it's going to be, we all agree that maybe it does need to be tweaked a little bit. The issue is, does current employees need to be tweaked with the new pension, or should it just be for new hires going forward? Because what we have, by law, we cannot change anybody that's vested or 10 or 5 years. So they're going to be there. The issue becomes whether or not we do those employees, and I think it may be 2,200 of them who are not vested, or the 2,200 who are just going to be grandfathered in total, and then just move on to the new hires.
And we've got about a minute left.
I understand.
And there's two questions I want to ask you. One, the one you'll get a kick out of, but at the end of the day, where do you think we need to go with the pensions? And secondly, do you want to tell the Memphis community about your pending mayoral?
Well, here's what we are. I think we will make some changes. I'm not sure we'll make changes between now and the end of the year. I think it may take us, going into the first quarter of 2015 to do something. So that's what we'll do. The second question. We've announced that we are looking at running for mayor. We have an exploratory committee in place. We are speaking to as many people as possible, and so we'll leave it at that.
You'll come back, right?
Absolutely.
This is City Councilman Harold Collins. We have Dr. Rodney Mills coming up. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back right after this. Pow, pow.